compliment and season greeting to everyone in the precious of our Lord Jesus Christ. You are welcome to today's edition on our ongoing program, An Altar to the Unknown God. Our text is taken from the book of Acts chapter 17 verses 23. And do you know that we celebrate Christmas every year? And that means it is an altar, because we visit it every year. And after the birth of Christ, which is called Christmas, we have Easter, the resurrection and the ascension of Jesus Christ. It is an altar as well. But the point here is that many of the people that celebrate the Christmas and many of the people that celebrate resurrection and ascension of Jesus Christ do not know God. That means, though Christmas is an altar, ascension of Easter is an altar, but people are visiting this altar unknowingly that there's a God that saves, there's a God that delivers, that a God that through his blessing we receive spiritual benefit, spiritual gift, spiritual power. And yet people remain powerless. So may God breathe on us, open our understanding to see beyond the celebration that pervade all these festivity. That we see God beyond the immediate. In the precious name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Today, we are still going to another edition. I want to consider Abinadab and Obed-Edom as a case study. In the book of 1 Samuel chapter 7, we want to read verses 1 and 2. And the man of Kirjath-Jearim came and fetched up the ark of the Lord and brought it into the house of Abinadab in the hill, and sanctified Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Lord. And came to pass, while the ark abode in Kirjath-Jearim, that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after God. When we saw the disposition, the approach of Abinadab and his entire household toward the ark, people say familiarity breeds contempt. But so that applies to the service and the worship of God. We can be so familiar with God to the extent that we lost every respect to sacred things. We can be so familiar with things that represented God that we lost every respect for every good and every sacred things. We saw our Nadab and Abihu, his two sons of Aaron. They offered strange fire. And the fire of God came down and bent them because of this contempt cast upon the secret thing. And we could see two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, did the same thing. We could see the same thing in the New Testament. Ananias and Sapphira casually approached the throne of grace, to the throne of God, and they thought they can just do anything when they come to the presence of God. We thank God for the grace of God that is speaking today. We thank God for Christ on high, at the right hand of Father, interceding for the church. We could have had a lot of similar experiences, but though we have not experienced the same thing, but we should be cognizant of the fact that everything of God need to be approached with honor and dignity. And in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 6, from verses 10 to 12, we saw when the Ark of God was in the house of Obed-Edom. In the space of 90 days, his entire household history and testimony changed drastically. It affected him and his entire household. Just like the ark was a curse in the house of Abinadab, it was a blessing in the house of Obed-Edom. What made the difference? When the ark of God stayed in the house of Abinadab for 20 years, it has no impact and makes no difference. The same ark in the house of Obed-Edom, even within the space of 3 months, it became a blessing. The difference is our approach, our disposition, how we honor God, how we approach him, how we serve him, our disposition to him. We go a long way and will matter most. Now, in the book of Isaiah chapter 29, verses 13, wherefore the Lord said, for as much as these people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear of toward me is taught by the precept of men. They have reduced the fear of God to the tradition of men, to what the culture suggested, what the environment suggested. And that is visiting a God behind an altar that is not known. We visit God, supposing that it is a God we are visiting, but it's an altar that we visit whereby the God behind that altar is not known. Just like you have it in the book of Acts chapter 17, verses 23. There are a lot of things that represent God today, but they are not God per se. There we have the building, the house of God, either under the tree, or that we made a hut, or whether we make a building. It ranges from the greatest to the lowest. Joe, it's termed the house of God. The name of God was inscribed upon it. We do the service of God in that particular building. It may be in our parlor, it may be in our room, it may be in our yard. In as much as it is termed the house of God, there should be a portion of honor and dignity that will be accorded to it. What about the ministers of God? What about our parents? They are representing God, but we should bear it in mind, they are not God. We should see God beyond our GOs. We should see God beyond the ministers of the gospel today. We should see God beyond our spouse, our offices, our employee and employers. We should see God beyond our friend and our certificate. In the book of Psalm 78, verses 41, I would say the limited God, the God of Israel. In other words, they limited him in their mind, they limited God in their service, they limited God in and out. In which way are you limiting God today? In the book of 1 Samuel chapter 2, verses 30, God said, he that honor me will I honor, and he that despise me I will lightly esteem. God honor those that honors him, and God is committed to those that are committed to him. How are you serving God today? And when we approach the altar of God, it is show. Our disposition, our approach to that altar will show if we really know God behind the altar. The way we are relating with ministers of God, the way we are relating with our parents, the way we are relating with our spouse, will show if we really know God. The way we are relating with our children, all these things are God's gift. And everything that we know that came from God, we should see God behind them. And when we are relating with them, we should cast certain honor, some honor upon them, because we know God is behind it. So therefore, there are a lot of casual way that we approach God today that indicate that people do not know God at all. This is how far we go today. I pray that God will open our understanding to see beyond the mere structure that we put down that we call the house of God. That mortal man, it may be our child or our son, it may be our wife or our husband, it may be our brother or our sibling, that are ministers of God, that we see God right in their life and honor them as first. And may God deliver us from the temptation to see our GU, our ministers, our parents as God. May God bless you. Till I come your way next time, stay blessed. And I'll see you in the new year. God bless you.